Video posted toward the end of February on the Facebook page of Valery Zaludny, the commander-in-chief of Ukraine's armed forces, showed grainy aerial footage of a Russian military convoy approaching the city of Kherson. Russia had invaded Ukraine several days earlier, and Kherson, a shipbuilding hub at the mouth of the Dnieper River, was an important strategic site. At the center of the screen, a targeting system locked onto a vehicle in the middle of the convoy. Seconds later, the vehicle exploded, and a tower of burning fuel rose into the sky. "Behold the work of our life-giving Bayraktar." Zaludny's translated caption read, "Welcome to hell." The Bayraktar TB2 is a flat, gray unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, with angled wings and a rear propeller. It carries laser-guided bombs and is small enough to be carried in a flatbed truck and costs a fraction of similar American and Israeli drones. Its designer, Selçuk Bayraktar, the son of a Turkish auto parts entrepreneur, is one of the world's leading weapons manufacturers. In the defense of Ukraine, Bayraktar has become a legend, the namesake of a baby lemur at the Kiev Zoo, and the subject of a catchy folk song, which claims that his drone makes ghosts out of Russian bandits. In April 2016, the TB2 scored its first confirmed kill. Since then, it has been sold to at least 13 countries, bringing the tactic of the precision airstrike to the developing world and reversing the course of several wars. In 2020, in the conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia over the enclave of Nagorno-Karabakh, Azerbaijan's dictatorial leader, Ilham Aliyev, used the TB2 to target vehicles and troops, then displayed footage of the strikes on digital billboards in the capital city of Baku. The TB2 has now carried out more than 800 strikes in conflict from North Africa to the Caucasus. The bombs it carries can adjust their trajectories in midday and are so accurate that they can be delivered into an infantry trench. Military analysts had previously assumed that slow, low-flying drones would be of little use in conventional combat, but the TB2 can take out the anti-aircraft systems that are designed to destroy it. This enabled a fairly significant operational revolution in how wars are being fought right now. Rich Outzen, a former State Department specialist on Turkey, told me this probably happens once every 30 or 40 years. I spoke with Bayraktar in March via video. He was in Istanbul at the headquarters of his company, Baker Technologies, which employs more than 2,000 people. When I asked him about the use of his drones in Ukraine, he told me they are doing what they are supposed to do, taking out some of the most advanced air defense systems and armored vehicles in the world. Bayraktar, who is 42 years old, has a widow's peak, soft eyes, and a slightly off-center nose. He was flanked by scale models of new drones, mounted on clear plastic stands, which he displayed to me with the unconcealed pride of an aviation geek. Any UAV built today to fly, I pilot it myself, because I, love it, he told me. Bayraktar, who has more than 2 million Twitter followers, uses his account to promote youth education initiatives, celebrate Turkish martyrs, and post pictures of new aircraft designs. Some people here consider him like Elon Musk. Federico Danelli, an international relations researcher at the University of Genoa, told me, in May 2016, Bayraktar married Sami Erdogan, the youngest daughter of Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Turkey's president. Erdogan is a leader of a political Islamist movement that, the analyst Van Cornell has written, wishes to build a powerful, industrialized Turkey that serves as a natural leader of the Muslim world. Turkey's arms industry has grown tenfold in the past 20 years, and most of the country's military equipment is now manufactured locally. The Bayraktars, and particularly the TB2S, have turned into the flagship of the Turkish defense industry. Alper Koskin, a former Turkish diplomat, told me. Turkey borders Iran, Iraq, Syria, Armenia, Georgia, and the European Union, and it faces Russia across the Black Sea. Danelli told me that the shifting allegiances and complex politics of the region reminded him of Europe in the days before the First World War. In Bayraktar, they have a kind of genius who can change the historical path of Turkey, Danelli said. Erdogan has held power since 2003. During that time, he has seized control of the courts and the press, amended the Turkish constitution, and advocated for a return to traditional role for women. Journalists critical of the Erdogan regime have been beaten with baseball bats and iron rods, and opposition activists have been sentenced to decades in prison. But Turkey's economy is stagnating, and its inflation rate rose to 70% during the past 12 months. In 2019, Erdogan's party lost the mayoralty of Istanbul, which it had held since the 1990s. Spectacular propaganda machine, and Erdogan has used its success to promote his vision for Turkish society. As Bayraktar told me, in this day and age, the biggest change in our lives is driven by technology, and who drive the changes? The ones who create technology. While we spoke, his mother, Kanan, Sumi, and the couple's 4-year-old daughter, also named Kanan, were eating dinner in an adjacent room. Bayraktar told me that he was one of the oldest engineers at Baker, and that many of the firm's programmers are women. My software side comes from my mother, he said. Bayraktar was born in Istanbul in 1979, the middle of 3 brothers. His father, Özdemir, the son of a fisherman, graduated from Istanbul Technical University and founded an auto parts company. Kanan, his mother, was an economist and a computer programmer in the punch card era. The brothers were introduced to machine tools at an early age. We were working all throughout our childhood in the factory, Bayraktar told me. By the time he was a teenager, he was a competent tool and die maker. Özdemir was also an amateur pilot, and as a boy Selçuk would survey Turkey's splendid geography from the window of his father's plane. A small aircraft, it's like sailing in there, he told me. You feel like a bird. Bayraktar was soon building radio-controlled airplanes from kits, sometimes modifying them with his own designs. Özdemir set out to secure government support for Selçuk's drones. Özdemir was friendly with Necmettin Erbakan, an Islamic nationalist and a vitriolic critic of Western culture. Turkey had been a secular republic since the 1920s, but Erbakan, a professor of mechanical engineering, believed that by investing in industry and grooming technological talent, the country could become a prosperous Islamic nation. In 1996, Erbakan had been elected Turkey's prime minister, but he resigned from the post under pressure from the armed forces and was banned from politics for threatening to violate Turkey's constitutional separation of religion and the state. Bayraktar's first drone, the hand-launched mini UAV, weighed about 20 pounds. In early tests, it flew about 10 feet, but Bayraktar refined the design, and soon the mini could stay aloft for more than an hour. Bayraktar tested it in the snowy mountains of southeastern Anatolia, surveilling the armed rebels of the PKK, a Kurdish separatist movement. Ferhan recalled his astonishment when he contacted Bayraktar in the mountains. He has no hesitation to go to the front lines, to really the worst conditions that the Turkish military can go into, and basically be with them, and live with them, and learn directly from the user, he said. Bayraktar was now part of Erdogan's inner circle, and his drones were marketed for export. When he gives talks to trainee pilots, which he does often, he wears a leather jacket decorated with flight patches. When he tours universities, which he also does often, he wears a blazer over a turtleneck. Bayraktar told me he prefers to field test a drone in an active combat theater. It needs to be battle-hardened and robust, he said. If this doesn't work at 10,000 feet elevation, at minus 30 degrees temperature, then this is just another item that you have to carry in your backpack. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel.